Do you know, in this world, there are some people whose very birth is a blessing, whose names are not erased by time, but continue to bloom in the garden of praise, like ever-fragrant roses. There are some souls who carve such a place in hearts that even as centuries pass, even as the world changes, their name, their essence, remains alive, forever fragrant. Today, I am going to share the story of such a man who needs no title, no fame, and no praise to define him. He is someone who never gave up, never backed down, and never let fear take over. Today, I bring you the story of a true hero, a man who rules hearts, who the world knows as the Captain, and whose name is Imran Khan. No one could have imagined that a small boy born in the narrow streets of Lahore would, through sheer determination, write a story so powerful it would shine as a timeless inspiration for generations to come. Imran Khan was born on the 5th of October, 1952, in the heart of Lahore, into the home of Ikramullah Niazi, as a light destined to illuminate hearts for centuries. His childhood was a blend of innocence, mischief, and dreams. Running through the alleys of Lahore, playing in cricket fields, he was a child whose eyes always sparkled with the desire to achieve something extraordinary. Raised under the loving care and guidance of his parents, he was often quiet, but deep-hearted, and unshakably determined. From a young age, he was different, carrying within him a spirit and courage far beyond his years. Imran Khan received his early education at Hearts College in Lahore, where he excelled not only in academics, but also in sports, showcasing his remarkable talents. From a young age, he was known for his discipline, dignity, and unwavering self-respect. After Hearts, he continued his studies at the Royal Grammar School, and later moved to the prestigious University of Oxford in the United Kingdom for higher education. At Oxford, his dedication, hard work, and brilliance left a lasting impression on all who met him. Alongside his academic journey, he continued to make his mark on the cricket field, proving himself not just as a scholar, but as an athlete of extraordinary promise. He became a shining example of excellence in both knowledge and sport. When Imran Khan stepped onto the cricket field, it was as if a new dream had taken flight.
And there's the first delivery with the deafening roar of approval of this packed stadium. There's an appeal for LBW and he's out!
In 1971, he earned his place in Pakistan's national cricket team, and from that moment on, he stunned everyone with his passion and perseverance. He was a young man who from his very first day treated the ground as his home. There was lightning in his bowling, fire in his determination, and the dream of raising Pakistan's flag high in the skies burning in his heart. With his arrival, a new era in the world of cricket had begun, one that the world still remembers to this day. Imran Khan's journey to win the World Cup was never just a tale of sport. It was the struggle to repay a debt of dreams, hopes, and silent tears of a wounded nation. For years, he hid his own pain, turned his exhaustion into smiles, and lit a fire of belief in every player on his team. When others lost hope, he would simply say, with unshakable conviction, "We can do it." And then came that moment in 1992, when Imran Khan lifted the World Cup and offered it to his people. It felt as though centuries of sorrow had finally found peace. That day, joy danced through every street and alley of Pakistan. And there stood Imran Khan, eyes glistening and head held high, reminding his nation with quiet strength, as long as our dreams are alive, defeat is impossible. That moment in Imran Khan's life, when his mother lost her agonizing battle with cancer, is something words can scarcely capture. A mother whose hands had held him, whose prayers had lifted him, whose smile had been his greatest strength, was now swallowed by the cruel silence of cancer. The woman who had stood like a shield before every storm in his life now lay helpless on her deathbed. Before his eyes, the light that had taught him how to live began to fade, and then it was gone. It was on that heartbreaking day that Imran Khan made a vow that this pain would not be in vain. He wanted to make sure no other mother, no other family would have to watch their loved one suffer in silence. And from that pain was born a dream, the dream of Shaukat Khanum Hospital, a place where every cancer patient could find hope and a light that would never go out. There came a day in Imran Khan's life when love gently knocked on the door of his heart. Jemima Goldsmith, a kind-hearted, innocent soul with eyes that held the light of love and a heart glowing with sincerity. They came from completely different corners of the world, but their hearts spoke the same language, the language of love. In 1995, Imran and Jemima tied the knot, beginning a beautiful new journey together. Their marriage wasn't just a ceremony. It was the union of two hearts, two cultures, and two dreams. Jemima didn't just walk beside Imran. She embraced his pain, his purpose, his passion. She stood by him through every storm, soothing his wounds with love and grace. It was a chapter of love, a chapter that made Imran Khan's life shine a little brighter, if only for a while. After the World Cup, after building Shaukat Khanum, when Imran Khan stepped into politics, it wasn't an ordinary decision. He knew politics was a battlefield, where truth is tested and dreams are often shattered. But how could he stop? This was a man who had endured the loss of his mother, who had lifted a World Cup for his nation. The first time he held a mic at a rally, people laughed. Some said, "He's just a cricketer. What does he know about politics?" Others mocked, "He plays games. He can't run a country." And some said, "This is madness." But there was a strange spark in Imran Khan's eyes. He heard every insult, endured every laugh, bore every accusation. But deep inside, he kept hearing his mother's final words. "My son, never let anyone give up." While the world laughed around him, he quietly whispered in his heart, "One day, I'll show you. This dream isn't mine. It belongs to all of you." In the beginning, his rallies had barely any people. Newspapers mocked him. TV anchors pointed fingers. But every night, he stayed awake. And every morning, he rose again, with the same fire in his heart. Because he knew, this journey wasn't for him. It was for his people. They tried everything to break his spirit. But a man who never learned how to break came back stronger. Imran Khan was a global icon who felt the pain of the common man. He understood the struggle of a street vendor, a laborer burning under the sun, who gives up, not because he's weak, but because he can't afford bread for his children. He saw how people spend their entire lives chasing simple dreams and still end up with empty hands. Imran wasn't fighting for power. He was fighting for dignity, for the forgotten, the voiceless, the broken-hearted. For every person who's ever felt like giving up, he stood tall so they could believe again. To win power, he walked in to serve a purpose. And no fear, no opposition, could silence the dream that lived within him. And then, finally, that day came. The day when years of dreams and the prayers of a nation came true. August 18th, 2018. The day for which he had sacrificed the dreams of his youth, the comfort of his nights, the peace of his soul. On that day, Imran Khan, the man they once laughed at, the man they called crazy, the man they tried everything to stop, stood before the nation to take oath as the Prime Minister of Pakistan. A lifetime of struggle had led him to this very moment. As he raised his hand to take the oath, his eyes held years of exhaustion and silent tears. In the halls of power, on that very day, his lips carried a quiet promise. This land will no longer belong to a few families. It will belong to every hard-working soul who sheds their blood and sweat for it. People clapped, but in his ears, he could still hear the cries of his people. And that day, history bore witness. A man who lived and breathed the pain of ordinary people had finally become the leader of their hearts.